So we tested a Mercedes EQS car not too long ago. Now they're coming out with the EQS SUV. So let's give Mercedes a call and see if we can get one. And like all car professionals, I'm going to use my high-tech flip phone. Hey, $30, man. I don't hold out when I'm spending money. Alright, it's been a couple days and they shipped it down, so let's go take a look. Well, they delivered it, so let's open the door, roll it out, and see what we got. Metallic silver paint, my unfavorite color next to black, but this is a popular color for everybody else, so that's why they make so many. And two Mercedes emblems to remind everybody what you're driving. This is classified as an SUV. Now, the technical, legal meaning Department of Transportation has for that, I don't know, but in general, an SUV sits higher off the ground than a regular car, which gives it the ability to go off-road. If you're not going to take it off-road, there's really no reason to have an SUV, although most people buy them and never take them off-road, so I don't know what to tell you about that. If you like electric cars, we also drove the Genesis GV60 Performance SUV. That was a sweet one. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video. Make sure you watch it. And we also drove the Mercedes-Benz S-Class with a big V8 gasoline engine, which is what I really want. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video as well. If you're going off-road, you need a spare tire. In fact, you should have a spare tire regardless, if you're going out of town especially. Most electric cars don't have that, so let's take a peek under the floor. And no spare tire, just the charging cord in this nice little suitcase, emergency kit, and some emergency vests. And lifting this up, wow, a lot of good storage space under here. Good for hiding stuff. All your money and gold coins and guns and stuff. So for this trip, I will need my tire repair kit. That's what's in here. A lot of air pumps, stop leak, etc. There is a high output EQS SUV putting out 536 horsepower, 633 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.0 seconds. This isn't it. The 450X or Plus, I've seen it done both ways. Well, in the car, it's a 450 Plus. 355 horsepower, torque rating is 419. 0 to 60 time is usually claimed to be 6.5 seconds. In the high output charger, you can get 80% in around 30 minutes with a range of 305 claimed miles. All the fast charging times you'll see mentioned are based on the super high output 350 kilowatt chargers that are kind of hard to find. More common 150 kilowatt, the time is going to increase quite a bit, and the 240 volt level 2 that you get like in your house, if you haven't one installed in your garage, take around 12 hours to charge this vehicle. So let's take a look inside. When you're doing that, the handles pop out. It's gimmicky, but on all the expensive cars, especially electric, this is what we're getting. Wonder what happens when the temperature is 70 below degrees and then what happens? Does it freeze? I don't know. If you live in that climate, try it out and tell me. And before you get in, please note these are the widest rocker panels I've seen in a long time. And you get a lot of dirt buildup here, which gets on your pants. If you're driving in bad weather, you want to keep that clean. This particular vehicle has some extra cost options, starting here with the comfort, the massaging seats. Got to pay extra for that. And instead of the narrow screen, it's got the super wide, what do you call this, dynamic screen. Some of the Forbes magazine said this was 56 inches wide. I think they're off by a few points there, but it's big. And all your controls are on here. A lot simpler than it looks. Unusual for Mercedes. We get to all this high-tech stuff telling you what's going on with the car. I'm not going to go over it all. And when you put the transmission in reverse, you have a lot of things to look at here. Oh, you do it with the finger too. How cool. Getting something for our money. And the third option we got was the perfume dispenser that sprays a mist in the vehicle to keep it smelling very nice. Well, sort of. This particular flavor didn't really cut it with me. It smells like a $2 to me, but they do have other flavors and scents that you can get if you're not satisfied with this. If you get the right scent, yeah, it works pretty good. Just not this one for me. It's stored in the glove box. And there's a lot of room in this glove box with or without the dispenser, especially if you take the owner's book out, put it back in the trunk area. There's a fingerprint recognition system. Alright, part one of the video is done. Part two, we're going to do some driving. As we do in all our videos, we're going to take these headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. On the console, we have a control module on the far right, the radio controls on the far left, dynamic mode. You need to understand how that works. Also notice the reflective plastic used here that causes a lot of glare certain times of the day, as we'll demonstrate a little bit later. But first, let's look at the dynamic mode and how it works. Especially here. You think they could do something about that, apparently not. But anyhow, getting on with the subject matter, you have individual, sport, comfort, and eco. And here again, you can see the reflecting issue. Yeah, okay. Other reviewers don't talk about this. That's why you should be watching my channel and not theirs. We don't pull any punches. I tried driving in the sport mode and so equipped the power steering is too twitchy for me. And the suspension and high ride height is not made for sports car cornering, so I don't see any advantage putting suspension in the sport mode either. I think comfort's going to be your best bet. And I didn't get a price sheet with this to list all the standard equipment or options, but I'm told this has rear wheel steering as well as rear wheel drive. At a 10-degree angle, it makes a turning radius very small. And yes, that is true. Allows you to squeeze in a very tight parking space. Be great for the soccer moms when they go shopping. As we do all of my videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 15 to 20 miles per hour, see how the suspension performs in impact. Here comes bump number one. Oh, that was cushy enough. Let's speed it up a little bit, 20 miles per hour. Number two. Very plush, and the big nasty one. Wow, hardly felt a thing. That's impressive, especially with these monster 21-inch wheels and tires. Very unusual. A 0 to 60 time of 6.5 seconds doesn't sound like much, but this thing definitely has a lot of bottom end grunt. It certainly appears to be a lot quicker. Yeah, it's quick, all right. The brake pedal's kind of mushy, but I'm understanding there's like 4 different adjustments I've not been able to find yet, so perhaps you can work it out. This thing weighs like 6,000 pounds, so it's a good thing we have a high torque rating. The driving position of this particular SUV seems a lot higher than the others. It's like I'm driving a delivery truck. Very high off the ground, but I can see an awful lot, so I guess I shouldn't complain. It just takes a lot of getting used to. And here's the other reflection problem with these wide plastic or glass screens, that you want to call them. Is when the sun hits you. And now it's bouncing right off of my face. Don't get me wrong, I really do like these large screens most of the time, but there's certain times of the day when it just doesn't work. This is definitely an excellent vehicle for long trips. The driving position, the extremely smooth suspension in the comfort mode, a nice sound system I'm not allowed to demonstrate because of copyright laws. YouTube gets mad when I do that. Very low wind noise, unusual for an SUV. Very quiet. Yes, I can take a very long trip with this, of course, until I get to 300 miles, and then the battery will be dead and won't be running anymore. The one little minor disadvantage of an electric car. So this is a clear, sunny day, as you can see, but there's a sign warning of fog. You gotta be kidding me. And by golly, it looks like we have some fog. In the desert, on a sunny day. Not Los Angeles. The desert. Arizona. If I didn't have this on video to show somebody, nobody would believe me. Yep. It's really fog. Go figure. Well, let's look at the bright side. If we have a 20-car pileup, maybe I'll get some good video out of it. Get 1 million views on YouTube. Now, even though the fog is cleared up, reflection off the sun on our glass panel here hasn't gone away. That's a pretty tight parking space for a big vehicle like this, so let's see how this rear wheel steering works. Huh, that was effortless enough. Yes, it really works. Now the next problem, how close am I getting to that tree? I can't tell, but well, looky here, we have a front camera too. The wonders of Mercedes technology. Again, getting something for our money here. That's good, because if I gave this vehicle back with a big dent in the front, I think Mercedes would get a little upset. We don't want that. Now here's a slight disadvantage with charging expensive electrical cars a lot of people don't want to talk about. And the bottom line is, if you can afford a very expensive $100,000 electric car, that means your time is very valuable. That means you don't have time to stand around for 45 minutes waiting for your car to charge. Going to home charge overnight, not an issue, but do you really want to stand out in the hot sun waiting for your vehicle to charge when you're losing like $100 an hour down at your job? Now for your spouse who's just going out and doing a lot of grocery shopping for a couple hours, this works okay, but for long trips, over 300 miles, it can be very, very annoying and time consuming. Hey, don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger. And here we go, the only charger available lasted 5 minutes. Charging has been interrupted. Terrific. Okay, to make a long story short, the machine malfunctioned, attached itself to the car, wouldn't let go. So I was trapped, so I called the main headquarters and they managed to get my plug unplugged and have to go find another charger. Hey, it happens. Not Mercedes' fault, the machine's fault. Okay, found another charger, seems to be working. Yahoo! Hoorah! We're at 73%, so we're going to have to about 80 and get out of here. Oh, 5 minutes left till 80. Going full speed ahead. Maybe we should try for 100. We're up to 100%. That brought us from 245 miles to 345 miles. We're according to percentage, 70% to 100% on a 150 kilowatt charger. Took us slightly less than an hour. Don't have the exact time for you. I've been using the Mercedes to take some highway trips, around 120 miles to 120 miles coming back. This is a very, very comfortable vehicle for long trips. Smooth, quiet, low wind noise. As far as the range goes, in the daytime, not an issue. The temperature is around 65 to 70 degrees, not using the heater, but tonight, temperature is around 36 degrees. Have the heater on, 72 degrees. And for every 10 miles I'm driving, I'm using 15 miles worth of electricity. So for a 100-mile trip, using about 150 miles worth of range. Yep. In cold weather, you do have a disadvantage. There's no doubt about that. So the last time I used a public charger, I couldn't show you the screen because the sun washes it out. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, we get a better view. So I pulled up with 99 miles of range left at 35% charge. We'll see how much it's going to cost on the screen when we're done. By the way, if you never operate an electric car, here's a little information for you. Most of the superchargers are 150 kilowatts. You might find a 50 kilowatt here and there. This station here has several 350 kilowatts, this is what you really want for a quick charge, but they don't work. They're all broken. In fact, I've never seen a 350 kilowatt system anywhere that was functioning yet. If you know better, leave something in the comment section. I'm just the messenger here. Okay, 26 minutes. I went from 35% for 80% for $19.78. Let's round it off to 20 bucks. Let's see how many miles I was getting for my trouble and cost here. Well, they gave me 120 miles for 20 bucks. You do the math. Well, 20 bucks could buy 6 gallons of gas at the current prices I'm looking at, so how many miles can you get on a gasoline car with 6 gallons? Depending on what you're driving. What are you driving? Figure it out. And I might as well go the full 100% charge since I'm sitting here. And we have that little charging bar on the gauge cluster to keep track of what's going on, even though you can do that on the charger on the outside, but this looks a lot more cool. Oop, where'd it go? Come back. Well, it shows it on the info screen too. One for your left eye on the gauge cluster and one for your right eye on the info screen. The wonders of German technology. Alright, I decided to go for the full 100% charge. Took about an hour. But if you remember, yesterday, when I charged in the daytime, when it was nice and warm around 70 degrees outside, I got 345 miles on 100%. But let's see what we got here in this cold weather. We got a full charge of 269 miles. A bit different from the 345 miles we got in the warmer weather. It's about 41 degrees outside right now. Interesting. So yes, if you're charging in cold weather or driving in cold weather, makes a difference. It's cold out here. I've been driving this about a week and noticed something unusual whenever I drive two-handed. With my hand down here, no problem, but every time I drive one-handed, the car gets upset. Telling me to reposition the wheel. Well, how does it know what position the wheel is in? Why does it only do this when my hand is there? Is it watching me somehow? Is there a secret camera we don't know about? So I look at my eyeballs and I don't see anything, but on the camera, get the dust off. Two little eyeballs watching me. What's up with that? I looked in the owner's manual. It doesn't say anything about this. Are we being spied on here? Leave a comment in the comment section. And yes, I looked in the owner's manual. Not a word about this. So what's my take on this Mercedes EQS SUV after a week of driving? I guess it's all about luxury, and they definitely designed a very luxurious vehicle, very comfortable, quiet, smooth. Great for highway trips, although you're limited by the range. And that's the deal with electric cars, short trips only. If you're wanting a short trip and a nice comfortable ride to do it in, this is a very nice vehicle to get, if you can afford it. We did a night drive headlight test on YouTube for this vehicle. If you didn't see it, you can see it now, part 3 of the video. It's dark enough. Let's take these lights out and see what happens. And I see when you open the door, you have that little Mercedes emblem on the pavement, so everybody will know what you're driving. Here's the view from the rear, certainly wide enough. Emergency blinkers, not the strongest I've ever seen. Big enough on the outside mirror. Here's what we get on the front. These are not easy to see. They're being drowned out by the headlights and taillights. Turn the headlights off. Now, yes, a little bit easier to see, of course. And again, not too big on the rear. And you open the door, little Mercedes emblem on the rocker panels to remind you what you're driving. Lots to see on this dash. We got the super wide info screen. I think this is optional. So let's crawl in and take a peek. If you want a large navigation screen, you've come to the right place, that's for sure. Put the transmission reverse, and this is what we see. On the passenger side, this is what I'm always seeing. Haven't figured out if it does something else yet. Very simple gauge cluster. And you can't see these two little dots with the naked eye, but when you put a camera on, I think these are little cameras staring at you. You'll have to read the owner's manual a little bit later on, see what's going on with that. So let's get to the headlights. This wall is 33 yards away, or 100 feet. Height is pretty good, goes over the bushes, that's what we're looking for. A bit lower on the left. Lights up the pizza box pretty good. A little higher on the right. Here's the high beams. Wow, what a floodlight. Ooh. Yeah. So let's take this out on the street and see what it looks like. Alright, let's do a long distance beam, and that's low beam reaching out. Let's go to high beam. Lighten up the whole neighborhood here. Wow, the whole street. Also, these are active headlights, turning the same direction as the steering wheel. Great for taking corners. You watch my videos, I do not like auto-dimming mirrors unless they have a cutoff switch, because I don't like driving the city with blacked out mirrors. But I can't seem to find a way to turn this off. You can always put a piece of tape over the sensor hole, but for now I'll just use it the way it is. If you know a way to turn this off, you know where the comment section is. I will say one thing, for this electric car, you definitely have a lot of stuff to look at if you get bored on the dash and info screen. Let's see how we light up the road signs. Yeah, these brights are potent. About the most potent headlights I've ever had on a vehicle, so I'll give them credit for that. If you do a lot of highway driving at night or backcountry roads, you will not be disappointed with these lights. That's for sure. So here we are on the freeway, low beams, high beams lighting up everything, making that guy in the truck kind of mad, so I guess I better turn him off and back down to low. And once again, the instrumentation dash info screen looks pretty cool, very entertaining to watch. Yes, I'm back, dark country roads. These are definitely excellent headlights. Really reaching out. Okay, I just heard a loud beep and now I have this on the info screen. I have no idea what it is. Maybe there's a ghost or satanic being locked up in there somewhere. Now it's moving. And I'm getting some weird music. Oh, these Germans come up with some clever stuff. And I noticed my heated seats just came on. Alright. Whatever. Maybe this vehicle's haunted, huh? Now the massaging seats are coming on too. Maybe I pressed the wrong button. Oh well, we'll just carry on. Alright, I must have pressed the warmth button. That turned on the heated seats, the massaging seats, and that nice little light show. Learn something about this car every day. Yeah, let's park our car about 10 feet from the curb. That won't cause an accident. The dark dingy street test, so we don't run over any cats like this one right here. Get lost. And there's another one. Yes, let's watch out for the bicyclist. Great, driving a bicycle with no lights and with a baby on the handlebars. That's a smart thing to do. Overall, I give the night test on this vehicle a total thumbs up. Certainly impressed me.